Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Tonight we are going to be making a dessert, a very fancy dessert for special occasions and for the upcoming Easter holiday. It's going to be low carb carrot cake. So come along with me and let's get started. So in the next 2 weeks, I am going to be making 2 recipes that are going to be very good for the upcoming Easter holiday. Now, if you don't celebrate Easter, that's great. You could use these recipes for other things, Mother's Days, potlucks, graduations, bridal showers, anything. The first recipe that we're going to be making, the recipe that we made tonight, is carrot cake. And this is going to be a low carb carrot cake. And before we get a bunch of comments down in the comment section of our video, carrots are not traditionally considered a ketogenic food. However, they are a fairly low sugar vegetable, a root vegetable. And the amount that we are going to be putting in is still going to keep the carbs per serving of this cake low. So this is a special occasion cake. We're not saying that you should eat cake every day, every month, or every week, but it is very wonderful for a special occasion. So come along and let's get started. Okay, CJ has kindly volunteered to grate the carrots for me. I have peeled them. And we are going to need 2 cups loosely packed. And you want to use carrots that are in a stick. You don't want already matched sticked carrots because they don't have enough moisture.
Oh, we're starting.
So to begin our cake, we need 2 things. We need to make sure that our oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And we also need 2 9-inch greased cake pans. And I have also cut parchment paper and greased it to go onto the bottom of each one. To begin our cake, we're going to traditionally cream our butters and our sugars. In this case, it's going to be sugar substitutes or natural sugars. So I am going to start with 1 cup of powdered erythritol, and I'm going to beat that in. And you can see our powdered sweetener went everywhere. So our next step, after we add our white natural sweetener, we are going to be using a 1/2 cup of brown sugar alternative. And in this case, I'm going to be using Sucrin Gold. And it is an all-natural product, and it is made with erythritol and a little bit of stevia. And then it has some natural colorants to make it the color, texture, consistency of brown sugar. And you can buy this on Amazon, and we will have it linked. It's also in our favorites on our Amazon storefront. Once again, we're going to be using a 1/2 cup of that, and we are going to continue creaming our butters and sugar. And at this point, we can add our teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we just want to beat it until it's light and fluffy. Next, we are going to add 5 eggs, and we want them to be room temperature, and we are going to add them 1 at a time. Egg number 2. Okay, here's our final egg. Our next step is a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, and we are going to beat that in. Our last step for our wet mixture is we are going to add the 2 cups of loosely packed grated carrot that we saw CJ demoing at the beginning of the video. And once again, you want these loosely packed. They don't need to be pushed down. You also want whole fresh carrots, not the already pre-prepared matchsticks. The reason for doing this style of carrot is because they have a high water content and they're very fibrous, and that's what we want, is because these are going to provide the moisture to our cake. So in a separate bowl, we are going to mix our dry ingredients. So I have 2.5 cups of finely milled almond flour, and to that I want 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And we're also going to add our spices into this. We need 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, a tablespoon of ground ginger, and a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I have freshly grated mine, but you can use canned or jarred if you'd like. And we're just going to stir these together and make sure everything is well combined. So we are going to begin adding our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients a little bit at a time. I'm going to give this a stir, and then we are going to put in our 2 final batter ingredients. The first thing is a 1/2 cup of unsweetened shredded coconut and some chopped nuts. I have a 1.5 cups here of walnuts. I'm going to reserve a 1/2 cup for decorating my frosting. So I want about 2/3 of these nuts. You can use pecans if you prefer, but I'm using walnuts in this step. Now I'm going to stir the rest by hand, just to make sure everything is very well combined in our batter. And so now we are going to divide this evenly between our 2 greased and parchment papered cake pans. Okay, there's one. Okay, and there is the second. So we are going to put these into our preheated 350-degree oven for 35 minutes, or until we can insert a knife or a toothpick and it comes out clean. Alexa, set a timer for 35 minutes.
35 minutes. Starting now.
We are going to begin our icing, our cream cheese frosting, while our cake is in the oven. So I have about a cup of softened butter and 1.5 packages of cream cheese. So that's 12 ounces. We are going to begin adding our powdered natural sweetener. A couple of tablespoons at a time. I have a 1.25 cups here. And so I'm going to add it a little bit at a time and beat that in. Remember to start with your mixer on low, because it is going to kick up sweetener because it is powdered. In fact, I think I'm going to stir it in first before I start beating it. Now, after we are done with this step, we need to take about 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream and begin drizzling it into our frosting to make it as light and fluffy as possible. Nice, thick, rich, fluffy cream cheese icing. Okay, they have been in for 35 minutes and I poked mine, as you can see, with a knife and it came out clean. So I am going to let them sit up on the counter and let them cool before we put the frosting on. Because if you don't do that, then your frosting will just melt on your cake. CJ, if you want to get in here nice and close, you can see that this cake here on the right didn't get quite as much batter as this cake here on the left. And guess what? It is not going to matter when it's smothered with cream cheese frosting and chopped walnuts. So everybody remember that. Imperfection is still okay in baking. So these have been cooling about 15 minutes. So I'm going to take them out of the pan and put them on my cooling rack. So that they can finish cooling all the way so that we can frost them. So they look good. Okay, I'm going to be putting my cake on a cake pedestal. So in order to keep my cake pedestal clean, what you can do is you can cut some pieces of wax or parchment paper into strips. And then you just want to lay it down on your pedestal before you put your first layer of cake on. And then we'll just be able to pull them out after we've iced that layer. So I'm going to take the smaller of the two layers and put it down first. Just like so. Then we have our big bowl of icing that we did earlier. And I'm just going to start, I'm going to put some right in the center of the cake. And then I'm just going to start working it around. Doing our best not to get too many crumbs in. But, you know, like I said before, perfection is not my middle name. Now I'm going to take my other cake layer and place it gently on top. And just try and work from the inside out. Trying not to go back over what you've already done too many times, because that's when we start to get crumbs going on. Smooth back over once you've got your initial coat going on. Now the hard part to me is going around the sides. I have the reserved walnuts that we kept out from the batter, and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them on top. And you could actually put some along the sides if you wanted. Hi CJ.
Hi.
It's time for some delicious cake.
Yep. Carrot cake. Low carb carrot cake.
That's right.
You know what it tastes like?
Carrot cake?
Carrot cake.
Well, that's good.
It's good. It's good. So we just got finished with this. So I'm sure after the frosting sets a little bit.
Yes, I put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be firmer, but it's good.
It's very moist.
Yeah. Oh, it's very moist. And it tastes like carrot cake. So it'll be a nice special treat for a special day. Because again, you don't need to be eating this every day. But it's okay for a special occasion. So yeah, good job, baby. I know this was a lot of hard work.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for joining us, you guys. We hope that you enjoy the carrot cake. I know that we will. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. We'd like you to come back and visit with us. We have Keto Conversations on Wednesdays, and that's where we get together and talk about different keto lifestyle issues, conversations, keto food unboxings, and other things that are ketogenically related. And then on Sundays is when we upload our new recipes. We definitely want you to come back next week and find out what our other Easter recipe is. So come on back and join us. We are also on social media. We're on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. And also, if you need any recipe ideas, full principle recipes, all of the nutrition information, macros, and anything else about our channel or our recipes, that can always be found on our blog, and that's CJSKETOKITCHEN.com. So come on back next time, and we'll see you then. Bye.